In a peaceful village nestled between the green hills, there lived a cow named Maggie. Maggie was known throughout the village for her gentle nature and her immense capacity to help others. She spent her days grazing in the fields, providing milk for the farmers, and looking after the young calves. Her heart was as big as her body, and she always cared for the other animals in the village. Maggie never sought attention, but her calm and compassionate nature made her beloved by all. One fine morning, a new bull named Max arrived in the village. He was tall, muscular, and had a powerful presence that immediately attracted the attention of all the animals. His large, strong frame and commanding voice made everyone look up to him, and the other animals seemed in awe of his strength. Even Maggie couldn't help but notice how strong he looked. As Maggie watched Max move around, she began to feel a sense of inadequacy. She wondered, if only I were as strong as Max, then maybe I would be more respected, or perhaps I would feel more important. For the first time, Maggie found herself questioning her value in the village. She had always been content with her work, but now, seeing the admiration everyone had for Max, she felt small in comparison. Determined to prove her worth, Maggie decided to work harder in the fields. One afternoon, as the sun blazed high in the sky, Maggie set out to dig the fields with all the strength she could muster. She tried to work as forcefully as Max, pushing herself to be as strong as the bull, who seemed to be the center of attention. As the hours passed, Maggie's muscles ached. Sweat dripped from her forehead and her hooves were sore. She felt exhausted, but she didn't want to give up. She kept telling herself, I must be strong. I must work harder to prove my worth. However, as the day went on, Maggie realized that no matter how hard she tried, she was not as strong as Max. Her body was tired and her back ached. She had been pushing herself far beyond her limits, and yet she had not even come close to achieving the strength that Max had. At that moment, Maggie paused and looked at her surroundings. She noticed the young calves grazing peacefully, the farmers milking the cows, and the other animals going about their work. It was then that Maggie realized something important. While Max had incredible physical strength, it was not the only type of strength that mattered. She remembered how she had been able to help the farmers with her milk, and how she had nurtured the young calves. She had a unique strength that was not measured by her physical size, but by the love and care she gave to others. Maggie sat down in the shade of a nearby tree and took a deep breath. She thought about how much joy and comfort she had brought to the village in her own way. She had always been there for those in need, offering milk to the farmers and warmth to the young calves. She now understood that her strength wasn't about being the biggest or the strongest. It was about the kindness and compassion she showed to everyone around her. The next day, Maggie went back to her routine, but this time, she was more content. She no longer felt the need to compare herself to Max or anyone else. She understood that true strength didn't come from brute force. It came from within. It came from the ability to care for others, to be gentle when needed, and to offer support without expecting anything in return. As Maggie continued her work, she realized that the villagers respected her for the qualities that made her unique. They valued her calm nature, her helpfulness, and her ability to nurture those around her. Max may have been physically strong, but Maggie had her own kind of strength, the strength of compassion and care. From that day forward, Maggie never again doubted her worth. She embraced her true strength and understood that everyone has their own unique abilities, and no one should be measured by someone else's standards. The village, too, recognized the quiet strength that Maggie carried, and they admired her for the love she showed to all the animals.